Okay, perfect. Took a little longer today. So hello and welcome to class today. Today I want to discuss something that's called elision, or deleting is actually kind of a better word for it, just because it's more understandable. And so basically what we're going to look at are, in English, we tend to not say all of the letters in a word, which I'm sure Rafa hates, because in Spanish they pronounce all of the letters. So that's one of the difficult things I've come into, one difficult thing that I've seen for Spanish speakers in general, just because the rule is if you have letters in the word, you say them. And so because in English we don't, we have some problems with pronunciation for non-natives. And so today I wanted to take a look at some phrases, words, what is this, and just kind of discover a little more about it. And so I have two different things for us today. First, it's kind of information about what I'm talking about, and that is exactly what I want to share first. Just make sure that I can see this. Yes, this is perfect. Ken, this is what I was saying. I realized that my Adobe Reader thing is in Spanish, so sorry, everybody.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but content is English, so yeah.
Yeah, the most important part's in English. But I didn't realize this until like over halfway through the last class, and I was like, they can see this part. Now, I don't know how to delete this part. So Rafa, I mean, if you know anything about this and you know how I can get rid of this part over here on this side. Oh, wait. Well, I just figured it out, so no problem. So that actually works out pretty good. So Rafa, I didn't need your help in the end. So first we'll talk about this. What is it? And Ken, because you're unmuted, if I'm correct. Oh, no, neither of you are. Okay, now you are, Ken. So Ken, why don't you go ahead and read this for us?
Okay. Elision. What is elision? It is the removal of a sound or sounds when we are speaking. Many people, those who haven't studied English pronunciation, think that there aren't any rules to English pronunciation. They are, of course, wrong. There are many rules. Here is a very important elision rule.
Yes. So basically, the most important part here is, well, actually, the removal of sound or sounds when we're speaking. Okay? That's the most important part here. So now we have some rules. Oops. I always do that on this. Okay, so hopefully you can see all of this. I'm just going to take a look. Looks like Rafa's here 2 times, which is fantastic. I'm not sure if Rafa can read at the moment, but you know what? It's okay, because I'd actually prefer to read this just because. So, and there's plenty of practice today, so I'm not worried about that, all right? So, rule number 1, if T or D comes between 2 consonants, they get removed. Okay, so for example, old man, the D is not pronounced. Now, I pronounce these now just because, people can understand me a bit more. Actually, that reminds me, I was on Facebook the other day, this past week, and I found something kind of funny, and it actually is about the Wisconsin accent. So I'm going to copy and paste this into the group here and paste and send. Okay, so Rafa, don't just click on this because you'll disappear from the chat, but make sure you open it in a new tab. But I thought it was funny because it kind of describes the Wisconsin accent. I don't think, it doesn't really say why, but it does talk a bit about history. So basically what I want everybody to know is I don't have my 100% Wisconsin accent when I teach nowadays. I actually don't delete or use the elision very much. I actually pronounce things because it's easier for everyone else. Okay, and so when I said old man, okay, I'm going to pronounce that now. Normally I'd say the old man, and there, as you can tell, I did not pronounce the D. And we speak a lot quicker because we can. So, okay, let me read the next one because I have a couple other things to say as well. The next one says to be behind the times. Again, this D I'm not going to pronounce. To be behind the times. And another thing I want to look at eventually will be word grouping, in which we kind of put like 2 or 3 words together and kind of did it. So like I did here, to be behind, to be behind. All right, so I said it super quick, and I'm grouping to be behind, and then later saying the times in one group. So to be behind the times. Okay. Hopefully both of you are understanding this, and actually what I'll do is have you repeat these as well. So the last one here says, if you don't mind, you don't mind if, I'm turning things around here, you don't mind if, you don't mind if. All right, so I'm not saying that T. And later I have other examples in which we don't pronounce the T, so this is not the only example. So, Rafa, are you okay to speak? Which I'm curious to see which person you're using. Or not. Maybe Rafa is an identical. Oh, there you go. An identical twin. Yeah. Okay, so what I want you to do, Rafa, is to read these 3 examples. Okay?
Okay. All man to be behind the times. You don't mind if.
Good. And that's exactly what it is. Now, do you think you can do that a bit faster?
All man to be behind the times. You don't mind if.
Okay. So that's good. And Ken, what about you? Can you give this a try?
Sure. Old man to behind the time. You don't mind if.
Okay, well that that was definitely quick, so that's perfect. All right. So it says at the bottom here, you should practice identifying this. Let's take the reading as an example. So let me go down to the next one, and I have to find, there it is. Lots of things on my computer today. So it says, can you identify some examples of elision from the text? One word in each sentence, where the D or T are elided. Let's say omitted. I've never seen this word before. I mean, I have obviously here, but I forgot it was here. So what we'll do is maybe I will have you two read, so I don't kind of spoil the surprise here. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
I don't think anyone's very sure today, but we'll give it a try for the first couple and see how it goes. So, Rafa, is that okay with you?
Okay, perfect.
All right. So, well, Rafa, why don't you go first and go ahead and read the first example for us?
The diary of Jane and her nightmare boss.
Okay. Is there anything in here that we're not saying?
Perhaps the T in the nightmare.
Yep.
Because it's between 2 consonants.
Well, I might not have, yes, it's between consonants. However, the 2 consonants before the T, the G and the H, are silent. So for me, I mean, it is obviously a consonant, but it's a silent consonant. So that brings up a nice question, or interesting question. However, yes, you're absolutely sure. Her nightmare. We're not saying the T. So good. All right, so that was perfect. That was the perfect example. Ken, why don't you go ahead and read 2, the long one.
I'm not exactly having the time of my life in this city, but I do love it a lot. I do love it a lot.
Okay, so I have a couple things to say about this sentence, but what do you think we're not saying? Which, is there a D or a T here?
T. I'm not. I'm not.
Okay. Do you think we could use it somewhere else as well?
I'm not exactly T like maybe in American English. Having G sound is weak or
Normally, the G sound is very weak at at the end of any ing word. Having, going,
right.
it's normally not pronounced, yes. Anything else?
Time of my life in this city. City, maybe cities, change to cities, like sound. But I do. But I do. But I change to but I.
As well.
I do love it. Love it. Love it a lot. It a lot. Change the sound.
I love how you can read this perfectly and then add the American touch to it and then it say, no, that's not said. So exactly, I would go with everything you said. So I'm not pronouncing the first, well, the T in not or in exactly. I'm not exactly. My life in the city, yeah, like you said there, it's more of a D sound, especially for the Americans. But I do love it a lot. But I do love it. The T, I'm not really saying either with it. So there's a lot in this sentence, a lot going on. And so that's why it's sometimes difficult to understand natives in their native setting. So if you go to Wisconsin, for example, you're going to hear people that speak different than the way I speak. Because like I said, I'm saying things differently. So I'm going to read this by pronouncing everything and then again kind of normal for me. So I'm not exactly having the time of my life in this city, but I do love it a lot. All right, and I sound like this is my teacher mode. This is how I have to teach. So in Wisconsin accent, I would say I'm not exactly having the time of my life in the city, but I do love it a lot. And so there you can see intonation and grouping, cutting off the ends of the words, not pronouncing the T's or D's or pronouncing T's as D's. So there's a lot happening. Any questions? Later we'll do tongue twisters. No, I'm just kidding, not today. But I think tongue twisters are coming up soon. So, all right, Rafa, any comments? Or Candy, do you have a comment? I saw that you might have wanted to say something.
It's also the singing a song in English is a good practice to know this kind of sound reduction. Yeah, because if the sound doesn't fit, it's not correct. It doesn't fit to the melody. That's how I remember this kind of rules of English by my ear. When I was a kid, I realized, oh my gosh, the sound is pretty much different from Japanese. So yeah, because of the melody.
Yep, and I definitely agree. And honestly, normally I don't like when lower level students listen to music to learn English because of the intonation, the elongation of the pronunciation of the words, and so they might stay on a vowel or something longer than normal, and so people would pick up that pronunciation, and it's not really true. Also, for example, rap songs, they cut off a lot of the words. They use a lot of slang, some very uncommon words or words that no one would know, even looking up the words in a dictionary or a translator, because their slang is just common for that area, that group of people, etc. So, I mean, learning a language is quite difficult, and at different stages of your English, I will tell you to focus on different things. And so, the level that both of you are at, I would say absolutely watch movies, TV series in English, and maybe with subtitles just in case, or subtitles in English, so you can understand the pronunciation of some words, just like we're doing today. Okay. Ken, anything else? Any other
definitely.
comments?
Explanation we can learn from the songs. Because I suffered a lot after that. I know the connection, but I didn't know the proper intonation of the word. And also some slang actually it's not good. It's rude. It sometimes happens to the Japanese learner learning Japanese in comic or anime, because slang in not proper situation. Sometimes.
Well, I've never read one, so I don't know, but I can imagine. Yep, that I completely understand. Okay, anything else before I have? No? Okay. Well, Rafa, why don't you go ahead and read number 3 for us, okay?
Number 3. He hardly gives me the time of day.
Did you notice anything?
The D in hardly is between two consonants, and for this reason, you could elide it.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I don't like that word. I'm going to say omit. Delete, not say. We'll go with synonyms today. He hardly gives me the time of day. Yeah, no, I would absolutely say that too. For example, in a native setting, the word of, I would say, he never gives me the time of day. So even that F, I'm not saying. Or technically of, when we pronounce the word of, it sounds like O-V. And I actually don't know why. I do remember learning that at school, but I don't remember why it's like that. So good. Rafa, any comments?
I was trying to remember a poem about, I don't know, perhaps from Oscar Wilde or something, or another important writer that tell a poem about how to learn English. And he said, in the first year, the most important thing is to know that you mustn't pronounce the D and the T at the beginning. Later in the second year, you need to learn that there you need to omit in different occasions. And finally, you need to learn that you need to omit the pronunciation of the il and D in other cases. It's so funny. I try to find out.
Yeah, well, if you do find it, go ahead and post it. Do you have Facebook? Are you in the Facebook group?
Yeah, I have Facebook.
You do have Facebook?
Yes, I have. May I join?
All right. Ken, Mr. Computer Whiz, would you mind getting the link for Facebook?
Okay.
Thank you so much. Because there you can post things. I mean, anything we talk about here, anything English related, absolutely post there. It's a great way for not just you to maybe find it later, but for everybody else as well. And there I post everything. So Rafa, if you're not in the Facebook group, how do you find us?
Thanks to Aka sent me a link
of course.
1 year ago or something like that. Could be.
Okay. Sorry. All right, good. Anything else?
How I can join? Thank you, Marka.
Yeah, he was working on that. Thanks, Ken. That's great. Okay, so Ken, it's your turn. Why don't you go ahead and read number 4?
Number 4. He's so behind the times.
So what are we not saying? Which letter?
Because of apostrophe is I, and
Okay.
so behind the time, D is very weak. The times.
And that I think actually is in the next part. And that's part of grouping words together. As I was preparing this class, I thought grouping words would be fantastic because we do it so often. And as I'm reading these, I'm grouping the words to sound more, I don't know, because I'm native. But I want everyone else to start doing that too, so we can see how that sounds and how different you sound when you speak. So that would be really great. So yeah, this D is 4 here. So very good. So Rafa, why don't you go ahead and read number 5. Rafa's probably going into Facebook right now. He's looking at the website. There you go, Rafa.
Yeah, for this reason, I couldn't mute my mic quickly because my computer was so slowly. Sorry.
Hey, that happens to me sometimes. Don't worry. I'm just glad you're still here. All right, when you're ready, you can read.
Number 5. When do you want me to start? All this? When do you want me to start all this?
Which one? Where? It's a bit confusing, isn't it?
I think the T. When do you want all this? The T in this, all this, all this. When do you want me to start all this? All this? The T between the L and the H could be. No.
Okay, not exactly. Just because with the word this, the TH go together to make the sound th. Okay, so in that case, no. Good guess. But Ken, actually, before I say my opinion, Ken, where do you think we should be omitting?
You mean the sound?
Yeah.
T. I think T. Yeah, I also think T.
Which T? We have like 3.
What do you want? What do you want me to?
Exactly.
What do you want me to start? Yeah, start. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's in between those 2 consonants, right?
Right. Want me. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So exactly. So when do you want me to start all this, sir? So that want, which we will see again later, that we don't say that. My next question is the difference between sir and sire. Does anyone know what the difference is, except for the pronunciation, obviously?
Nope.
Yes, I love when that happens. Ken, any ideas?
Maybe sir and sire.
Yeah, that's the pronunciation. Good. What else?
Yeah. Sir, sire. Syllable? Or
no. What about the meaning? Do you understand what these words mean?
I know the sir and I know the sire level, the record level in the past, but I don't know the meaning.
Okay. Well, that's the most important part here. So, sir, for example, is you're basically saying, excuse me, sir. It's a very formal. I don't live in a very serious, formal world, so it's kind of a Mr., if you want to think of it like that, but a lot more formal. Okay. And then sire to me is like royal, like the royal family or something like that. Okay, so it's even more formal. I would say it's kind of the same as Mr., but like extra formal because like I said, it to me is something with the royal family.
Okay.
All right. So good. All right. Well, that was my little quiz test of the day. So now rule 2, which again I will read. It says click on, click. Well, that's not going to work because, oh yes. So we don't have any audio for these slides or the presentations, but that's not, don't worry about it. So we're just going to practice saying the words correctly on the next slide. Here we go. Okay. So these are, we saw exactly before, exactly. Maybe if you want me to say them differently. But yes, this T we would not pronounce. Okay. What about the next one? Ken, why don't you go ahead and help us with that pronunciation?
You mean a handbag? Handbag?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Handbag.
What are we not pronouncing here?
D. Hand. D. This sound.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So we're not saying the D at the end of handbag. Mm-hmm. And when I say the word bag, that's in that Wisconsin article. So I hate saying that word because I can't change my accent. So let's see. Rafa, why don't you go ahead and read the other one?
Last project.
You're not saying the T in last, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yep, so last project. Even the T in project, I probably wouldn't pronounce. We'll just omit that T. We'll just take that out. Last project. It's the last project of the year. I think I said it there. But basically, the T with last, we're not normally going to pronounce, okay? All right, so there's that. And then down here, there's some phrases which we can just read. Let's see if it's going to... Okay, I think here is good. We can see everything. Kind of. Oh, yeah, on the one side we can, so that's good. All right, so let's see. Ken, go ahead and read the first phrase here, okay?
Okay, I don't know.
Can you do it faster?
I don't know.
Good. That's perfect. I don't know. Basically, your tongue moves in your mouth, and I don't know, and some sounds come out. So this is very, very colloquial English here, so very good. Rafa, what about the next one?
All woman.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, do you want to try faster?
All woman.
Good. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Old woman. Very good. So Ken, what about the next one? A little bit longer now.
Okay. He's so behind the times.
Mm-hmm. So again, with behind, we're definitely taking the D out. He is so behind the times. That's good. Rafa?
Can I have a correction?
Yes.
Okay. Behind the times and behind the time. What is the difference?
I don't think you would normally say behind the time when it's singular. Okay. Because behind the times is a phrase that we just saw, was it last class or the class before that? That means old-fashioned. Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. So and behind the time.
Times is the more correct about old-fashioned. I mean.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, good. Perfect. Rafa, any questions you'd like to ask?
No.
It always happens when I ask, does anyone have any questions? No one has questions. And then when I don't ask, everyone has questions. So Murphy's Law.
Just playing pretty well. So well,
yeah, exactly. Good. Well, on that note, why don't you go ahead and read is it the fourth one? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind if I do. I don't mind if I do.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, you can tell the more times you say it, the more natural I think it sounds. And both of you have done this. You said it once and then repeat it again without me saying anything sometimes. And that's really good because you know your mind has to be able to understand the words that you're reading and then do it faster. It's great. I don't mind if I do. And what are we not pronouncing? What letter? Do you want to answer this one?
I didn't get. I didn't get.
No? All right. Ken, what about you? Can you help us out here?
I don't T and I don't mind if I do. And D.
Mm-hmm.
And D.
The D where?
Mind the D. Mind.
Okay, there. Sorry. Yep, I know. I would agree with you because I was looking at the word do and I'm like, you do have to say that. That D is absolutely necessary. But you're right. I don't mind if I do. Mind if I do. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So very good. You thought of something I didn't, which has happened in the past. So good. Ken, do you want to read the next one for us?
Okay. Well, a little bird told me you are good with computers.
So what's going on in this sentence?
A little change a little, and bird told me D is weak. Bird told me D maybe. Told me.
Anything else?
You are good. You are good with computers. Good. This good D.
I would say yes. So I'm going to read this. All right. So, well, a little bird told me you're good with computers.
Mm.
So with the D with good, I did pronounce that. You're good with. Okay. Yeah. So I actually naturally said the D there. So I don't know if that's just because, like I said, I'm 50% in teacher's mode here. So good. So little, like you said, the T, and this is actually more just Americans. It's not anyone else, I don't think. So little, and then bird, I would absolutely agree with you. Told and agree with you. But good, I said it. So that's 50-50. Questions there?
Also, computers change to computers.
I loved that was the best comparison because I can't do that. I will not. I can't do impressions. No. So that was really good. But yes, at the end of words, when I think it ends with a T, in British English they pronounce the ER as an A sound, like an apple. Well, no. It's more of an sound. Anyway, so yes, you're right, but computers is how I would pronounce that word. Rafa, any questions?
Nope.
Perfect. Well, do you want to read the last one then?
Yeah. You are just the man I wanted to see. I want to see. You are just the man I want to see.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. So what are you removing from this sentence?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm just speaking.
El Padrino, the Godfather.
Hey, Ken, can you help us? Mr. Grammar.
You're just the man I want to see. Yeah, I want to, this T is very weak. I want, but it's, I wanted to see. Yeah. D, what I wanted to see. Yeah, maybe I would pronounce like that. Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, we're taking the T off of the word just. You're just the man I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. Wanted to. Okay. So good. Let me just double check. I think, yeah, this is the last slide for this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say hello to everyone very quickly, and then I'm going to screen share something else. So let me just get back. Hi, everybody. And I have a different thing that I have. Pronunciation, here we go. Good. So this is kind of a little way to help others kind of understand what we're actually doing. And as you can see, my computer hates all of the all of these pronunciation words here. So this is just to kind of start out to other people who don't truly understand, who are watching, who don't understand what's going on necessarily. This is a little bit simpler, I'd like to say, just because it's kind of explained visually. Going to, as you know, in many different things with going to, we just saw wanted to. Okay, we don't pronounce this T. All right, even though there's a vowel here, which is okay, because we're kind of changing the vowel sound to this sound. So this is pronounced going to. Now, saying this naturally, I'm going to say go. Oh, okay, that's teacher mode. Gonna. Gonna. And now I added these other ones, gonna with a U, with an O, just because when we write text messages, things like this. All right, so just in case you see things like this, and it could be gonna like that too, it just depends. All right. So I wanted to add that a bit for a little more colloquial. If you do go to an English-speaking country, you're there for a while, you see these strange words, that's what it means. So any questions with this so far? I do have some pronunciation things in a little bit. I just have some explanations first.
Could you pronounce these 4 different variations of Ghana?
They're the same. This is just for the spelling purposes for okay. Like text messages.
So actual pronunciation is Ghana. Ghana.
Yeah,
okay.
well, this depends. Gonna, because I always think gonna. I always write gonna with a G-U-N-N-A. That's how I wrote gonna. I'm gonna go to later, for example. Okay. So this is more written. Like I said, this is a completely different aspect. Okay, so if I were to write a text message in very colloquial, not very well, I'm gonna go to work at 3. All right, so people writing text messages in the United States are going to write, I'm gonna go to work at 3. I mean, maybe they wouldn't say the sentence, or I have to work. So just so that other people know, this is kind of what I'm aiming at, is the more colloquial stuff, but it's also written. Spanish, I get text messages, or I see text messages from people, and I'm like, okay, I understand, but come on. You know, you can type a couple extra letters. So this is the same thing for us, okay?
Right.
Good. So the next thing I wanted to look at is don't know, which we say dunno, basically. And sometimes, again, it's spelled with 1 N. That just depends on the person. I don't know. Here, this is very common. Wanna, want to, wanna, I wanna go. Now, this gets complicated because, for example, I've even seen on Facebook, people, I don't want to say friends, people that are on my Facebook have written would of with an OF because that's how it's pronounced. If you remember what I said earlier, the OF of the word of, the F is pronounced as a V. Well, of, have are obviously very similar. So even natives get this confused. Now what we do to kind of eliminate our knowledge, or what's the opposite of knowledge, our not knowledge of would be to write woulda or woulda, for example, because the L is silent anyway, you don't really need it. Would, maybe you can eliminate the U or the O as well and leave the U. So woulda. Now, I personally would write this just because I know it's almost correct, but more correct than the other one. Okay. Any questions so far with what we've seen? No? Okay. Well, let's go down here. Again, we have coulda, could have, and then again, the same with should have. We have shoulda, shoulda. All right. Now, I wanted to do something that this one day was completely like, whoa, to me. This was one of my, oh my gosh moments. Shouldn't have. There's like contraction after contraction here. And so I've written this. Why don't, Ken, you try to read these?
Okay. Should not.
All right, not bad. Rafa, what about you?
Shouldn't.
All right, I would do probably a mix of the two. I'd say shouldn't have. Shouldn't have. Yeah, and I have this here just because in these I have shoulda, okay? As I said, some people confuse this, and so they'll write this, which is not correct. It's absolutely not correct. I should cross this out. It's bad. But some people will write it like that. So all you have to know is that this is the correct way to write it. Okay? Questions, comments about this? Have you seen this before?
Yeah, I'm seeing or listen. Yeah, listen a lot. Maybe writing, maybe less. But in the YouTube comment was such kind of, yeah, casual writing. Yeah, people write like this. And also, actually, some people are misunderstood. Should have, it should off, shouldn't off, or something like that.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen it on Facebook too, and it's like, no, don't. So I can understand. Oh, all right. So this is very similar to what we were doing before. So which letter are we omitting? Which one are we not going to pronounce? So again, I'd like both of you to try. So Rafa, you're unmuted at the moment. Go ahead and pronounce. Why don't you pronounce all of these, okay?
Interest, vegetable, comfortable, library, difference.
All right, so pretty good. Ken, go ahead and read these.
Okay. Interest, vegetable, comfortable, library, difference.
Okay, so now I'm going to read this. The first one is interest. Interest. Which letter are we not pronouncing, or am I not pronouncing? Interest. Interest.
Interest. The E between the T and the R. Interest.
Exactly. So again, I might just cross that out. Interest. Interest. And of course, you can barely see the line there, but that's okay. This word we have vegetable. 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 Which one am I not pronouncing? Vegetable.
Also the E between the G and the T.
Very good. So again, we'll try and cross that out. Comfortable. Comfortable.
Oh. Sorry. Oh.
Yeah. The only O in the word. Oh, no, it's not the only word. It's not the only one. But comfortable. It's actually kind of not saying this R. I am comfortable. I'm kind of changing the order, it sounds like. Comfortable. Quite strange. When I write this out for students to pronounce it correctly, comfortable. All right, comfortable. So I'm kind of taking out this R from this area and kind of changing it. So it's quite interesting, comfortable. Well, English is a mystery. What about the next one? Library. Library. Library.
A?
Technically, yes, and I don't necessarily agree with this, especially with my accent. Library. Basically, what I saw is that they had taken out these two. And I don't pronounce it like that. Okay, so the last one then is difference, difference, difference. Difference. What am I not pronouncing here?
The E at the end, difference.
Okay, well, that's a different something. Difference, difference. This one. Where is that? Right there. Well, I'll take out the A in this one just because. But then we have two R's. So, all right, 1 second. So, okay, so difference. If there's an E at the end of the word, we never really say it. Vegetable, I'm ending with the L sound. The same with comfortable and difference. Okay. So okay, we have 3 more minutes, and what I want to do is just, I think right there is okay. So Ken, why don't you go ahead and read this for us first, and then I'll have Rafa read it.
Okay. What are you doing?
Good, Rafa?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh.
Okay, I am going to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, so we're taking off the T, the R. Like I said, this isn't necessary. I'm changing U to ya because it's easier. And as Ken mentioned earlier, the G we don't pronounce. All right. So in the next one, Ken, go ahead and read, please.
How are you getting there?
Rafa?
How are you getting there?
Okay. And I would say, how are you getting there? Oh, I didn't do that. I think that was an autocorrect thing. The corrector changed that. How are you, yeah, and I would, yeah. How are you getting there?
How are you getting there? Oh my gosh.
All right. Don't forget, this is my Wisconsin American accent. So, well, I just showed this one, but go ahead and read this. I don't mind. Ken, go first again.
Okay. I'm gonna order fish and chips.
Rafa?
I'm gonna order fish and chip.
Good. So, as you both said, I'm gonna order fish and then chips. And basically, when we say "and," we're just saying "n." We're just saying the "n" sound. All right, and I think, yeah, that's the last one. So perfect timing because we finally made it to the end. So let me stop screen sharing again. So very good. Well, how was the class today? Interesting. Did you learn something?
Yeah.
A lot of.
Yes.
Good.
That library, such things, I've never ever. Also comfortable is R sounds appear. It's so confusing, but it's good thing to know. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, there's so many words that we use this with, but this is just a good introduction to kind of say, hey, this is what it is. Now look for it. Be aware of it. When you hear someone talk, listen for it. Listen for the intonation, the grouping of words. So there's a lot, happening when you're speaking a different language. And so, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the class. I think next time I'm doing something with idioms, money on Monday. All right, so hopefully we'll see you there, and that's it. So have a great day, and then a weekend when it finally comes. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.